Hey guys, how we doing? Thanks for checking out the video. This is Chad out here with Three Rivers Lacrosse in Eastern Washington. Go Coyotes! Today I wanted to just go over the basic Lacrosse Stick 101, as well as a little bit about the different options that you got when you're stringing a stick, and also when you're purchasing your first lacrosse stick or maybe your second or your third stick. The lacrosse head, the plastic piece here, is made up of three parts. You got the throat of the stick, the sidewalls here, and the scoop. The distance from sidewall to sidewall is what they call the pinch. This is the De Beer Triton right here, and it's a fairly pinched stick. It's got what they'd call a moderate pinch. This head right here is the Brine Torch. It's actually a beginner stick, and as you can see, it's a little bit wider right in here. Gives you more surface area to catch the ball. Defenders will like to use these sticks a lot just because there's more surface area to intercept passes, and they're usually a little bit more rigid and hold up a little bit better to continuous stick check and that type of stuff. When you're putting a pocket in a stick, you've got pretty much two options. You can do what most people do, and for good reason. You can go with a nice mesh pocket. What this is just a sheet of mesh right in here that's attached to the plastic by some nifty little lacing work here. This is the sidewall string, obviously because it attaches the mesh to the sidewall, one on each side. You got the throat string right here that attaches the mesh to the throat, and then you've got the top string, which obviously attaches the mesh to the top. And then in here, these gray things flopping around that I haven't got a chance to cut yet, those are what's called the shooting strings. And what they do is they provide tension up top here to give the pocket shape for the actual passing and shooting of the ball. Without these, this mesh up here would just be loose and floppy. These help to reduce drag so that you can get a quick shot off, and like I said, as well as provide shape to the mesh. Now when you talk about mesh, you got a couple of different options. This is the 10 diamond mesh. Okay, this is what most people will use just because it's consistent, easy to maintain, has a decent feel, consistent release, and is just the most all-around quality material to use for a lacrosse stick. Now this one right here, this is the Reebok 6K. As you can see in here, also a pretty moderate pinch. There's a lot of sticks that have a lot narrower pinch in here that some people prefer. I can't catch with them, so I get this type of stuff. This is what's called the 6 diamond mesh, because it's 6 diamonds across. This gives a little bit of a better feel for the ball than the 10 diamond does. You're able to feel it in the pocket a little bit better. The release of the ball is a little bit bumpy just because there's obviously more material to bump, or more gap for the ball to fall into as you're releasing the ball. The other con to this is that it's hard to get it strung the way you want it, just because there's less options for places to thread the sidewall strings and that type of thing. But I really do enjoy the 6 diamond, just because of that feel factor. You're able to feel the ball a little bit better. These are both hard meshes. I always recommend hard mesh. Oftentimes you'll buy a stick, and if you get a stick that's pre-strung, it's going to come with soft mesh. That soft mesh, as soon as it gets wet, is going to spike the ball 5 feet in front of you, and it's not going to be fun to play with. Not only that, but when a stick comes strung from the factory, it's usually strung like garbage, and it's unfortunate because a lot of new players will go out and buy a lacrosse stick that's been strung from the factory and not change it, not know any better, and they'll have a really hard time throwing and catching with the poorly strung head. So I always recommend, when you buy a lacrosse stick, you can buy them in kits. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I'm going to be working on a tutorial here that you'll have to check back and check out. But they come in kits with the mesh, the sidewall strings, all the strings you need, as well as the shooters, so that you can put them together. And like I said, a tutorial will be coming soon on how to do that. The second option that you've got when stringing a stick is what they call traditional. This is what a traditional pocket looks like. As you can see in here, there's 4 leathers that run from the scoop to the throat, and they kind of set the foundation for the pocket. And then to connect them, you interweave the laces with what they call a cross lace. These are way less used, mostly because of the maintenance issue. You always have to play with them. You're always adjusting the leathers and the cross lace, just because the nature of leather is a little bit erratic. I like this. I like the traditional style just because of the feel of the ball is unlike anything else that you'll get in a pocket. You're really able to feel the ball in there, and you'll get a really nice nice release from this type of thing as well. As you can see here, this is what they call the pita pocket. I've got the wraps right in here that give the ball a nice channel to funnel out of when you're making your passes and your shots. You'll also hear a lot about pocket placement and whip. This is what they call a really high pocket. As you can see here, the pocket of the ball where that ball is naturally going to sit is a lot closer to the scoop than it is to the throat. What this does is this makes it easier for a nice, powerful horizontal cradle, as well as providing the ball a nice quick release because it's got less distance to go. So this is going to be a nice high pocket. This 6-diamond Reebok right here, that's going to be a lower pocket. As you can see, where that ball is naturally going to set is a lot closer to the throat than it is to the scoop. That's going to give you a nice, powerful vertical cradle, as well as a good long release for longer, more accurate passing. Another term you'll hear a lot is whip. What they're talking about when they say whip is the angle that ball is going to come out of when you make the pass. As you can see in here, the angle right in here between the pocket and the actual release point of the ball is a lot steeper than here. So this stick is going to have a lot more what they call whip. Whip is, a lot of people like to play with a lot of whip because it's like I said, it's quick to release. It's harder for a goalie to track normally because the ball comes out so unnaturally. Some of the bad things about it is it's tougher to make long, accurate passes, and it takes a lot of practice to get used to a stick with a lot of whip just because it comes out kind of unnaturally low. With this, obviously this is going to have a lot less whip just because the angle of that pocket and that ball between where the ball is going to set and the release is a lot more shallow. So this is going to give you, a little bit more true of a pass, especially in the longer passes, and a little cleaner release. Here you can see this is kind of a nice medium. It's right in the middle of the stick. It's got a little bit of whip on it, but not too much. So all that comes down to preference. Whatever you really want to do with your stick, whatever feels natural, but you got to play with it. If you don't play with it, you're not going to find out what you like the best. Now, when we're talking about pocket maintenance, we always want to make sure, right, that when our pocket gets wet, or if that pocket gets at all, distorted after we're done practicing or whatever, we want to make sure that we leave a ball in that pocket and leave it set like that, so that pocket stays where it's supposed to. If you need to set a pocket, sometimes what you got to do is you got to take a nice long screwdriver and run it in underneath the sidewall strings. And then you'll take your ball and you'll set the ball underneath that screwdriver like so. You'll go ahead and get that nice stretched out deep pocket. You've always got to do this when you string up a new lacrosse head as well to get that pocket nice and set. Alright, you guys, other than that, stay tuned for the tutorial. I know that was a lot of information. If you've got any questions, you can go ahead and visit our website, 3riverslacrosse.com. My email address is on there. Feel free to hit me up or check back with us, and we'll have a 10-diamond mesh stringing tutorial here in a little bit. Until next time, thanks guys. Have a good one.